Hello, y'all. I'm back again. What do I think of the Clarissa Shields fiasco? Well, I think that now I don't know if anybody from her camp punched that old man, but even still, with all that commotion going on and chaos, I think Clarissa Shields needs to get a tighter grip on her camp.
Can you stay for your full treatment?
I don't know.
You got a transportation?
Yeah, he told me call. He comes. He's That's a real. Excuse me, y'all. I'm in dialysis. I'm talking to my nurse.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. Um, that's my regular. He's regular transportation, so he should be here. He'll be here when I call him. I gotta let him know when to come. But anyway, Clarissa Shields is gonna have to get more control over her camp. Because Showtime been brought to my attention that her fight wasn't looking like it was going to sell that much. And Showtime used this as an excuse to pull her off the card and not pay her and the other woman she was supposed to be fighting. Now, I don't know if all this is true, but of course it sounds reasonable because Showtime couldn't give Deontay Wilder and Luis Ortiz a pay-per-view, the second fight. So Showtime is looking like it's getting ready to go to where HBO soon. So I wouldn't put it past them if that's the real reason that they scrapped that fight with Clarissa Shields, and was glad to have that excuse to do so because they would not have been able to scrap it otherwise. But Clarissa Shields is going to have to get more control over her camp.
Yeah, I just want to know if we can start using it, let's use it,
Clarissa Shields has said herself that her sister was a butch dyke, pretty much. I'm paraphrasing. But I'm going to say this, okay? A lot of people ain't going to like it, but I don't give a damn. All the time, or a lot of times, in my 53 years, about to be 54 next month, the good Lord bless and spare me, or inshallah. All the time I ran to those kind of lesbians, those dykes, they've been trouble. Trouble. They always run their mouth like a man, they got an ego like a man. And then when the shit hit the fan, they run to a man. But yet they supposed to be all independent and all this and that of men. Now look, I don't know what happened. I'm not saying that's what happened. But even to keep the chaos down, I would not have sister, whether it's my sister, my brother, whatever. I would, unless this person has just proven to be a pretty cool, collected person. I think I would first of all limit that sister from my affairs, business affairs, boxing affairs, and second of all, I'm very selective, and not at all. Do I really hang around with lesbians or have anything to say or do with them? Too much. They're trouble that I found in my life. I'm not saying that's so in your life. I'm not saying that's so in whoever in my life. I found that confiding in them, taking them in my inner circle has always led to trouble. I've only done it a couple of times, but that's a couple of times enough. And I've observed from afar um, their goings-ons and stuff like that. I don't advise to have them in your inner circle, okay? Unless you want yourself, all right? No, anyway, I heard it was $350,000 or more that was taken off the table for Clarissa Shields, okay? Women's boxing was finally getting a shot in the arm because she was headlining the Showtime card, and she blew it. She blew it, and the other camp blew it too. Both camps need to get a handle on their people. Now, I understand in boxing, boxing is a warrior sport, whether you be male or female. Boxing is not for the faint of heart. When you get ready to step in that ring, you got to have something burning in you. You got to almost have, no, not almost, you do have to have an anger at your opponent, deep down in your heart, okay? Well, not everybody, but a lot of people. Some people do better from the calm, cool, and collected standpoint. Some people got to have that fire. And Clarissa looks like she's the fiery type, and her people are probably fiery as well. I think the other girl may be the same too, may be that type, and people in her camp, fight trainers and such, I like that. But this fight trainer just wanted to see the weight for himself and protecting his fighter. To see was Clarissa gonna actually come in at the new weight she was trying to make. He was concerned about that. And I understand that. That's what he's supposed to do. He's a trainer. It's Clarissa's sister. I don't know what position she holds in that camp. But I don't think she's a trainer or a second or nothing like that. She was just trying to be loyal to her sister, I guess. I don't know. She was displaying her loyalty in an unwise way, as far as I'm concerned. Now, I don't know if that's the reason the old man got clipped, because sometimes people can want to do things and then see you in conflict with a person, and they'll be like, oh, this is just the right time. If I do it, nobody suspect me. They're going to be looking at the people the people they just got through arguing with, and go and do things like that. It might have been some of these crazies out here playing a knockout, and they might have used that opportunity to sneak up on Bashir and the trainer and to train for the team, and punch him and clip him from the blind side and knock him out. And they may be running around laughing. They may have had a friend record it, and they may be running around looking at it and laughing. Oh shit. Oh, they may have been running around laughing. I thought I wasn't recording, y'all. Maybe running around laughing, looking at the film. Who knows? Who knows who blindsided Bashir? But I'm just saying, in retrospect, even if it was no one from Clarissa's camp, because I think a guy was arrested and they let him go because they didn't have enough evidence. So I believe in innocent till proven guilty, which is a thing that is gradually disappearing from American courts today. Not only that, but they're falsely accusing people of things they didn't do. So, like the charging R. Kelly with human trafficking. I mean, That's ridiculous. I don't think he trafficked anyone. I mean, maybe he was with underage girls or whatever, but I don't know. I don't know. Human trafficking is another thing. That's a hell of a thing you charge. Only people to be charged with that is, well, you know what? I didn't think. I'm digressing. I didn't think pimps should be charged for human trafficking because a lot of girls are there because they want to be. But now I remember, growing up, I grew up in the pimp era, and I remember this girl. I used to live in this apartment, and this girl had ran under my window, running from her pimp. And all I heard, you know, how body shots sound like a big drum being beat. That's all I heard. And then I heard the weirdest conversation. I think I was like, what, 10, 11? And I heard this conversation. And it sounded real strange, like, you're not going to go no more. You're not going to leave no more, right? Yeah, baby, I ain't going to leave no more. You sure? You promise? Yeah, baby, I promise I ain't going to leave. Like that. I ain't going to leave no more. Okay. Okay, come on. And it was the weirdest thing. And she was trying to escape and couldn't. So I guess in a lot of ways that is human trafficking. Even if the girl agrees to go there and do that for you, prostitute herself for you, and then she decides she don't want to do it anymore, and she tries to run and she leaves, and you send somebody to get her back, or you yourself and go get her back by force, that is human trafficking. So, but anyway, to get back to what I was talking about, yeah, in America, it seems like it's becoming guilty until proven innocent. And let me throw this plug out too. A lot of you don't like Donald Trump. I'm not crazy about Donald Trump, but I want you to listen to me. Listen to me good, okay? The world is based on the lesser of two evils. It's not based on what is right. I'm sorry to tell you all this. Yeah, yeah, it's kind of based on what let's say what's more right. In other words, the military. The military recruits from neighborhoods that street gangs recruit from. They recruit from normally poor people or people who are a little underprivileged to come and join the military, where you might have to fight and die, have to give your life. Gangs recruit from these neighborhoods too. Now, what makes it, and in the military, it's pretty much nothing but a street gang, a glorified big street gang, because the gangs are fighting for their territory to sell drugs, mostly drugs or whatever they're peddling, and they come from poor neighborhoods, so they have to have this territory to have commerce and what they're trafficking. Okay? Be it cigarettes, be it drugs, be it prostitution, whatever they're doing, okay? The military normally have bases in different countries to either protect them from other countries, because that country normally has something that the country that has the military base in the foreign country needs to keep its economy running smoothly. Because anything that can interrupt a smooth running of your economy is a threat to national security. For real. And the gangs, if they cannot control their whatever prescribed neighborhood or territory, another gang can come in and take it. That's a threat to the individual members of that gang's economy. And that's a threat to the gang's national security, if you want to look at a gang as a country, because without money, they'll be overrun by another gang. Okay? Now, street gangs harm people, they bully people, just average civilians, all right? But believe me, if street gangs took political power in any country, a lot of that will calm down, because maybe most of it, they probably only knock on your door if you didn't pay your taxes like any other country, because taxes make the country go round. But if the street gangs had political and official power, no matter, even if they were like dictatorial leaders and whatever, it wouldn't be as bad as they are now in the neighborhoods. Just like the United States government. If the United States government didn't have the power it had, do you think it would really be as good to, well, I'm a black man, and I know the darker side of this country. But anyway, do you think that you would have the rights that you have here, and the protections, if that was the case? So I said all that to say this. It's more right to join the United States military than a gang. And not because they're more right at what they're doing. It's not right or wrong for the gang or the military. I'm just being real. It's survival. But on the United States government level, you have less of chance of suffering consequences of taking other countries' shit, because the U.S. government is powerful. A gang, you have more chance of getting consequences, because the gang is not powerful enough to protect you from the police who outlaw your activities, and not powerful enough to keep you from going to prison and doing many, many years. And 9 times out, they're not powerful enough over these other gangs, where it's not going to be gang shootings and killings and rivalries and battles, where the United States is normally so powerful that nobody wants to fuck with it. All the wars since World War II that the United States has been in, the United States itself have started those wars, or have inserted themselves in other people's business for whatever reason. 9 times out of 10, it's because those countries are being threatened by another bigger country than them to come in and destabilize the United States' position in these countries, therefore destabilizing their interests, the oil and what have you. And so I say, no, it's not wrong for the United States or any country to have their interests. Okay. I'm talking to my social worker now. What'd you say?
They're going to mail out a voucher to you.
Okay.
Okay? So you should get it before the end of the week.
Okay, thank you very much. That's my social worker, Christy Love. That's what I call her. But anyway, getting back to what I'm saying, I don't know if you guys are following what I'm saying, but what I'm saying is Donald Trump, okay, the Republicans have a lot of shit that I don't like. Number one, they have their head up the ass of oil, big oil, and the medical, big pharma, and the medical companies, okay? And I know, like I just explained to you, why the United States have military bases all over the world to keep their interests, like oil and minerals and all this other stuff flowing into the United States, flowing into the hands of the multinational companies that are based in the United States, to keep these economies, to keep the economy of the United States in a good position. Because if the economy is in a good position, your national security 9 times out of 10 is in a good position and condition. Okay? Because if you cannot fuel your economy with oil, gas, and the minerals that you need to keep industry going, then 9 times, and that means that jobs, a lot of people are going to be out of jobs. And if people are out of jobs, that makes your national security in jeopardy. And if you don't have the minerals and resources to keep your economy rolling and to keep and where you cannot make weapons and stuff like that and have computers and all that and the silicone and stuff that they get out the ground for computers, you're in trouble in this day and age. And whoever has that, whoever has more influence over these countries that you get these minerals from is going to be the new power. And then you're going to go and be the same. And then next thing you know, the things the United States do to these other countries will be doing to the United States. And and to be honest with you, these other countries will put they boot in the people in the United States' ass with no grease. 10 times more than the United States puts its boot in their ass. I'm just being real with you. I study all this. I'm not an American. You know what? I'm a black nationalist, red, black, and green. But I'm a 53-year-old man, and I've studied, and I've seen, and I'm just telling you the truth, man. I'm just giving you the truth. Straight, no chasing. Straight, no chasing. So what I'm saying is, yes, I have beef with the Republicans, okay? But the Democrats, these motherfuckers done went stark raving mad. Stark raving mad. The Democratic Party is not the Democratic Party was when I was a youth. They stood for rights, the civil rights. They stood for. Now they're reverting to their deep socialist communist leanings. And the Democratic Party today, this is a new, see, like they call everything fascist, okay? Fascism was something that went back to ancient Rome, but in our modern time, Nazi Germany, Italy, Spain would be what you would call a fascist system. And the United States now, where business and industry come together and where government kind of tells industry what to do, and they have this like whatever ideology they're using. Now, there's a new type of fascism coming. Okay, I don't know what it's going to, in the future, sociologists will call it, political scientists will give it some name. But if the Democrats now are starting to portray what I call a new socialistic democratic fascism, or let's say a politically correct fascism. That's what I'm gonna call it. They use and change language. They change language to control a narrative. Okay, a narrative that that's in their program that they're running. They shout people down. They don't let people have their say. They don't want other. They don't want people who have other leanings than their own to speak at these college campuses, which the college campus is supposed to be a place where ideas are expressed openly. As long as you're not telling people to go blow people away and shoot people, whatever, what have you. And these new leftist kids in college react violently to any kind of speech they don't want to hear. They spray people in the face with mace. They attack people. This Antifa with masks, and they attack people. That's not okay. Listen, I'm a black man. Okay. I seen horrible police brutality. I was a correction officer. You can't tell me police brutality and brutality in the system does not exist. I've seen it, okay? I've seen it firsthand. I've seen it growing up in the neighborhoods that I grew up in. All right? So you can't tell me that don't exist. All right? But right now, I'm willing to suspend my protest and my fighting against all that because we have a more dangerous foe in the horizon. And I'm not saying even right now, the Democrats have turned into a fascist party. They're not the party of the people anymore. They either represent elitism. The Democrats are elitists like I never. They used to be a party of the people. Okay. They have demonstrated elitism, and they've demonstrated repression. This female, Kamala Harris, she wants to confiscate the assault rifles, and she'll pay you. But if you don't want to give your assault rifle up, you don't want money for it, then what? She's talking like she's gonna send forces in to take your assault rifle. And these, a lot of them are law-abiding Americans who haven't done or hurt anyone. You know, they wanna put a gun control over the country, and that'll take our rights away to defend ourselves. And you see the police brutality that's done not just on blacks but American citizens, because it was this militia guy that told me that the police kill more whites than blacks, and it wasn't even. I said, well, percentage-wise, it's more black. He said, no, look it up. And I looked it up. He was right. Okay. And in this city, there's been some police brutality on white folks as well that just tore my heart up. I mean, look, listen. Look all around the world, and you see how the world's police forces that don't have constitutions and amendments and all that, or don't have a good constitutional structure in their political, and look at the horrors that these police and security forces met out on their people on a constant. Okay? Look what they do, because around the world, I don't think that there's very few countries that are as armed, have an armed citizenry like the United States. Just think what they will do to you once that's taken away. Once the Second Amendment is destroyed, and once your weapons are confiscated. Kamala Harris wants to come in your home and confiscate your weapon. Now, what if you don't want to give it up? What do you think is going to happen? That could start a second civil war in this country. Because most people are not going to, I know I'm not giving up mine. You're not going to get it. So, who in the hell are you to come in and take my weapon? First of all, Kamala Harris, I'm not just on her. Okay, I don't want to go down that road right now. But the Democratic Party is not your father's party. I'm your father age. It's not the party I knew when I was a child or kid. Okay, I grew up a Democrat. The first time I ever voted was for Jesse Jackson. I even voted for socialists. So I think Ron Daniels, and it was a woman named something Fulani. I voted for her. I was proud. These people were not as bad as the current crop of so-called progressives who sound to me like they want to institute a fascist or a totalitarian government. And this always happens, okay? The party or the political structure that's on the outside, at first, they read Nietzsche, okay? The weaker people always try to use laws, try to use shaming and things like that, like the Democrats used to do to the Republicans back in the day. And the right wing had the power, and they wielded it with COINTELPRO against the Panthers, against organizations they considered a threat to national security, but it really was just a threat to the political and economic structure. Okay, the Republicans used to, but the Democrats shamed them and won the culture over. And the Republicans ceased a lot of that. Now it's the Democrats. Now the Democrats are in charge, are over culture, and they have a lot of power. And to keep their power, they have become what the Republican was 30 years ago, 20 years ago. I've seen it. I used to be a socialist. I used to be a deep Democrat. I used to be all this. But now in the last years, the Democrats, I don't recognize them. They have gone stark, raving mad. And look at the people they're running for election. I mean, they can't come up with no just average people who are for the people and like the people. They're all way out there. And this chick they call AOC, the whole Democratic Party, I got a song for them. They're kooky and they're wooky. They're all together spooky. They talk about Donald Trump. Donald Trump is nowhere near as bad as these Democrats. And Donald Trump does not want to go to war. He's trying to withdraw from Syria. He talks a lot of crap, but he's the art of the deal. He's a bluffer. He's the kind of guy who will sit down and poker and bluff the hell out of you. Okay? But I'd rather have that guy who bluffs a lot, but not really want to go, instead of the Democrats. Now look at Hillary Clinton. She was in the neocons used to be, all the Republicans used to have their head all up their behinds. Now the Democrats are willing to go to war and to stay in Syria. And let me say this: all you got to do is open up any of these holy books, the Bible, the Quran, and you see them same people. They may have had different names, and the countries may have had different, but the same people been trying to kill each other with swords and knives, and the same way they kill each other now with bombs and guns. What are we doing getting involved in that? But it's because of oil. I told you, the United States don't need the Middle East oil, but the United States, when they made that deal with China and the world, the American dollar became the de facto dollar or currency of the world. That's why Nixon took them off the gold standard, and now the American dollar is default currency, so we can print money, print ourselves out of recession. And the reason we could do this is because the world agreed that the United States would first be the protector of the oil. Okay? If you control the oil, you control who gets it.